Every single day for the past year, I've been bombarded with YouTube videos about the most unsettling, disturbing, banned Minecraft horror mod. And it got me thinking about the Minecraft horror maps back in the old days, the ones that used to be played by YouTubers and got millions of views. What happened to them, and would they still hold up to today's horror mod saturated society? Click the subscribe button right now to find out. Our first map is based off the very scary game Alien Isolation, which was then only recently released. I spawned in this very charming lobby, and there were a bunch of signs telling me what settings to use, like setting the render distance to 12 and the difficulty to hard. Now, I'm not sure if newer maps have this, but I had forgotten about the existence of small details like having to change settings before playing each map. At the side, there were more signs explaining the custom blocks used, such as emergency containers and chests, and mechanics such as hiding in lockers and under tables. Once I was finished, I pulled this lever to start the map, and I was teleported into the iconic spaceship from Alien. On board with me was my trusty crewmate Charlie, who told me to get ready to approach another spaceship called the USS Segura. However, the airlock wasn't working, so I had to go down to the maintenance room and turn the power back on. Oh, flip. The fuse blew, so I had to replace it. Thankfully, I had already found the spare fuse on the way down there. After replacing it, I went back up to the airlock and put on a full EVA spacesuit to get ready to board the USS Segura. However, there seemed to be a huge problem with all the fuses in the ship because the airlock's fuse blew as well, and I was sucked out of the ship into space. Thankfully, Charlie had managed to align the ship so that I flew straight into the USS Segura. The USS Segura appeared completely deserted, so I wandered around and found a stun baton lying on the floor. I found my way to the communications center to try and contact Charlie, but the console had no power. The power room was next to me, but it was locked, so I crawled through a maintenance shaft to enter the room. Inside, I found the most useful tool in the entire game, the wrench. Using it, I fixed the power problem and tried the console again. It still didn't work because now the communications dish was out of alignment. I had to find a maintenance elevator to get to the communications dish. Most of the game is like this. It's a cycle of trying to use stuff that doesn't work, trying to fix it, which leads to more broken stuff that needs fixing. On my way out of the communications center, I noticed an android. But this wasn't the popular operating system designed for mobile devices released in 2008. It was a mindless killing machine. I made quick work of this creature, which by the way reminds me of that creepy face coin bank that was popular a while ago, and headed for the maintenance elevator. Of course, the elevator didn't work, and I had to find a level 3 access keycard to activate it. While exploring the area, I came across a lone stranger trapped in a room. He says he's been here for weeks and he doesn't know where everyone went. We ask him if he knows where to find a level 3 access keycard, and he tells us to go to Dr. Martin's office before the lights suddenly go out. In the darkness, he gets snatched up and brutally game ended. Oh my goodness. Upon his tragic demise, a door at the end of the room opened, leading to an open area where I quickly found Dr. Martin's office. I took the access card along with a motion tracker and another stun baton before an unknown organism was detected, causing the area to be locked down. I waited a while before slowly creeping out Dr. Martin's office, trying to find a way to escape. And this was where I caught my first glimpse of the alien. Oh shit. It's a horse! No, I'm running for it. After I was game ended, I respawned in Dr. Martin's room. And for some reason, on my second escape attempt, the doors that were closed earlier had opened, and I ran straight through them to the maintenance elevator. Now, if you were paying attention, you may have noticed my subtle reaction to the fact that the alien was a horse.
It's a horse?
I thought my texture pack was broken, so I checked other gameplay videos, and they all had an alien horse. So I guess the skeleton horse was the peak of scary back in 2014. The maintenance elevator brought me to another level with a bunch of androids, and to exit the ship and fix the communications dish, I had to drain cooling fluid from a flooded room. To do that, I crawled through another vent and closed the coolant valve with my trusty wrench. This released some androids from the previously flooded room, which I dispatched effortlessly using my stainless steel stun baton.
Bam bam bam. Bam bam bam. Bam bam bam. Bam bam. Oh!
I then put on a spacesuit and exited the ship. To realign the dish, I had to rotate a bunch of sticks in picture frames until the blocks behind the frames turned green. In the process, I experienced a critical lapse of judgment and lost my greatest tool, the wrench. This was the end. For sure, I could not progress without my trusty wrench. It was over and I knew it, but I persevered regardless. On my way back to the elevator, the alien made its second appearance.
No! How did I survive?
After game ending me, it disappeared, and I made my way back to the communications center, finally managing to contact Charlie. He told me to go to the main reactor and power it up so I could use the escape shuttle, but before I escaped, I would have to blow up the ship by raising the rods in the cooling rod control room. I went back to the maintenance level and found the elevator to the main reactor. While riding it, it malfunctioned and smashed straight into the ground. The doors opened to reveal an area coated in a strange black substance, with facehugger eggs littered everywhere. However, I had also struck gold, as I found a chest that contained a spare wrench. This chest also contained a weapon used to kill, called a revolver. I navigated a vent into a large cavern full of facehugger eggs. It looked scary, but it wasn't that bad, as only 2 facehuggers actually spawned. Past the cavern, there were soundproof doors that led to the absolutely gigantuan main reactor room. I had to avoid the many androids on the platform and activate the 4 discharge towers at the corners before activating the central tower to turn on the main reactor.
Man, you know what would be really cool? If I could stand on top of the pillar. If they don't have invisible blocks. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! I'm in the pillar. Hell yeah!
The next and final step before escaping was to go to the cooling rod control room and blow up the ship. On the way there, I came across a bunch of doors that had no power, had to find a level 5 access keycard, and put out a fire. Basically the same stuff as the rest of the game. After using my wrench for the last time to hack the doors to the cooling rod control room, I raised the cooling rods and booked it for the evacuation shuttle. As I approached the airlock leading to the shuttle, the ship detected an unknown organism inside. The alien was blocking my only entrance to the evacuation shuttle. As all hope was lost, I noticed a button next to the airlock labeled Purge and Open Airlock. So I pressed it and blasted the alien out into deep space. I then escaped on the evacuation shuttle back to my spaceship, reuniting with Charlie. Back on the spaceship, all was well and swell. Charlie was very nonchalant about me almost dying and was strangely focused on watching the other ship explode. As he opened the airlock doors and led me back into the ship, the vent suddenly blew open and the alien came crashing down into the room. Wow, that was actually pretty good. A great first impression of old school Minecraft horror. The textures have an aged charm, complemented by the dim lighting and the outdated Minecraft version. It's really cool how the creators found ways to work around the limitations of Minecraft, using wooden swords as stun batons, reskinning zombies as androids, using picture frames as a puzzle mechanic, and obviously, the alien being a skeleton horse. The environments are atmospheric and, dare I say, liminal, making the spaceship feel grimy and lonely. I especially like the main reactor room. The alien is pretty scary, they did a good job on that.
It's a horse.
It can't be outrun and it can't be killed, so your only option is to hide. It did scare me 1 or 2 times by speeding out of a corner straight towards me, and not to mention, it is modeled after one of the scariest animals on Earth. Overall, this is crazy impressive for a 2014 horror map. Props to the chef.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, erase.
From the first look, I could tell that this was going to be a good map. Look at how high quality it looks, look at the book, look at this cutscene. In this game, we play as Daniel, an elementary school teacher who was arrested on suspicion of the murder of Martin, who was a student in his class. He decides to investigate the murder on his own, taking notes in his trusty notebook along the way. The first thing we had to do was break into the school. And by the way, look at this. You have to push the dustbin with your body and jump onto it to get over the school gate. That's crazy. The school's front doors were locked, so I had to find some stone or brick and smash the windows to get in. The first thing I noticed were the posters on the wall. There was one advertising a summer camp, a dance school, and library classes. Unfortunately, someone had vandalized the library one and made the kind woman in the poster smoke a cartoonishly large cigarette. Other than the posters, I noted that I had to go to my office to take the key to the 5th grade classroom. I entered the next room, which was the gym, and I was met with a freshly bounced basketball, along with a light that was hurriedly switched off. Clearly, someone had just balled here. I tried pushing the basketball, which to my surprise actually worked. After trying and failing to push the ball out of the gym, I exited into the courtyard, which was not in a great condition. The grass was overgrown, there were bricks and patches of dirt everywhere, and the lights were flickering. I soon found the main classrooms and officers' wing of the school. It was dark and there was trash littering the floor. All the classroom doors were locked and the primary classrooms were cordoned off by police tape. I found the teachers' offices after a while. The main door was locked, but in another room, I found a drawer that contained a key inside. Someone had thrown a brick and smashed the window in front of me, which was very disrespectful in my opinion. I quickly used the key and opened the teacher's office, finding a note from the school director saying that he left the key to the primary classrooms in the caretaker's house. He also wrote another note addressed to us, saying that he was sorry that we were arrested for being at the crime scene, and he knew we just wanted to help Martin. I made my way back out the courtyard to the caretaker's house, which was suspiciously unlocked and had dirty footsteps at the entrance. Inside, I found the key to the primary classrooms and an answering machine that played a message from the director telling the caretaker about the key. And as soon as I left the room, played loud children's giggling. Now that I had the key, I could investigate classroom number 5, where we were apparently the tutor. I went back into the school and climbed the stairs. On my way to the primary classrooms, the power to the school suddenly switched on, and the school bell started ringing continuously. It wasn't turning off and it was getting very annoying, so I backtracked and found an open room with an electrical box and shut the power off. I then pushed away the police tape blocking access to the primary classrooms and tried to enter, but someone closed the door in my face. With the main entrance to the primary classrooms blocked, I had to try and access it via the basement store. I went down the stairs into the dark basement and immediately saw someone walk by in front of me. Now this was supposed to be a slow, tense portion of the game where you creep through the basement and stop and scream when something spooky happens, but I was pretty ticked off about the door slamming in my face, so I sprinted full speed through the basement, ignoring every scare. Unfortunately, I still wasn't fast enough to catch the culprit, but I was getting closer to the primary classrooms. I turned the corner and was about to go up a flight of stairs when the caretaker had been brutally game-ended. I had to solve Martin's murder quickly and get out of the school ASAP. Going up the stairs, I came across a toilet stained with blood. We get a flashback that shows us this was the toilet where we were found next to the body of Martin, the student who was murdered. Along the same corridor, right next to this toilet was classroom number 5, the class we tutored in. Finally, we were going to find out what happened that day. And that's where the game broke. Just kidding, kind of. On the teacher's table, there's a piece of paper that was supposed to interact with, but it wasn't working. I almost gave up, but thank goodness for Pop the Champagne, who commented a fix for it on the Planet Minecraft forum. I had to copy and paste a command from their comment to get it to work. Upon interacting with the paper, children suddenly appeared in the classroom seats, with one standing in the front of the class speaking to us.
Intention. Sorry about our euphoria, but when we saw you there getting close to the school, we told them keep calm. We are sorry about what we have done to Martin. I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to start the academic year again, so we couldn't tolerate it. But finally, we have been able to draw your attention about what happened to the vigilant. As I said, we are way too happy. But today is a celebration day. Finally, our favorite teacher will be here with us. So you will be here forever. Yes, you. Thanks, teacher, for being that kind with us.
That's the end of the game. Apparently, the story is that the students in our class liked us so much that they intentionally failed the class so that they could repeat the year and be taught by us again. Martin didn't want to do that, so the game ended him. When they saw us break into the school, they all gathered and followed us into the school so that they could see us again. Damn. This game has crazy production quality. You can push and interact with stuff like the dustbin and the basketball. Completely unnecessary, but it adds so much to the experience. The scripted scares like the brick thrown through the window, the person walking past, the shelf falling, and of course, the body falling down the stairs are all mind-blowing. I've never seen stuff like that done in Minecraft before. However, do take note that I stopped playing Minecraft when honey blocks were introduced, which was like 6 years ago, so I'll be very easily impressed. This map was the opposite of what I expected old horror maps would be. I expected creepypasta faces, random loud jump scares, but this map had a level of subtlety that really impressed me. It did come a few years later than the first horror maps though, so maybe that's kind of expected. Anyways, the creator of this map is Killer Creeper 55, who is apparently not only a famous Minecraft map creator, but also a YouTuber with 5 million subs who is still active to this day. He created more than 20 maps, mostly adventure maps, and was regarded as one of the best map makers. He also had many of the toughest YouTube intros.
Hola gente, soy Killer Creeper.
I tried finding more of his maps on a Spanish Minecraft website since Planet Minecraft wasn't really working, but I had to create an account so I gave up. Something I've never seen before though was that when you logged onto the website, you would have to specify the number of minutes of your session. I don't know if that's to reduce server costs or anything, but it's interesting. The moment I saw the cover for this map, I knew I had to play it. I spawned in a dirt room with a long corridor leading to a basement door. Going through it revealed a dark stairwell leading downwards. This stairwell had 3 floors. The second floor had a locked door with a sign that said warning, and the bottommost third floor had a main door and a set of barricaded doors at the back of the stairs. There was also a chest at the side containing a very messed up drawing of a villager. The main door on this floor wasn't locked, and it led to another corridor with another door labeled basement at the end. This basement door opened to an identical stairwell with the same locked door with the warning and the same main door below that, leading to another corridor to another identical stairwell. The only difference this time was the absence of a chest. On the third iteration of the stairwell, The door with the warning sign was open. It led to a small room containing random bookshelves, chairs, chests, and pistons. Through a broken wall, I could sneak a quick peek of the adjacent room, where a villager sat with his back turned against me. He turned around, revealing that he was the evil villager. This was very scary, and I stumbled out of the room and went downstairs to go to the next iteration of the stairwell. On the fourth iteration, there was a pretty orange tulip at the top of the stairs, showing that beauty can be found even in the darkest of places. The door of the warning sign was locked again, but as I walked past it, it slammed open and shut. Going further down, the bottom floor was now splattered with bloody smiley faces. As I investigated closer, the set of barricaded doors at the back suddenly burst open, revealing an altar with wooden crosses and writing on the walls that said, "Satan, say, look." There was also a book on the floor that contained very scary things. Monday, 2 eyes, 1 arm, 6 teeth. Tuesday, 2 heads crossed out, 2 arms, 1 leg. Wednesday, 3 souls, 15 children. I felt quite disturbed that someone had found my grocery list, so I exited and went to the next iteration of the stairwell. This time, the door leading to it was labeled with Hell. For Hell, this iteration was strangely normal. The only difference was the appearance of a chest at the bottom floor that contained a secret Easter egg key. As I opened the door to go to the next iteration, this happened. The next iteration was in a void. This time, the bottom door led to a dilapidated wooden area with gravestones all over the place. I found a room containing a baby cot and found a book which wrote, "Where are the kids? Behind the wall? Behind the door? Behind Satan? Behind you?" Other rooms contained kids' toys like Rubik's Cubes and footballs, a Christmas tree with some gifts, along with bloodstains and a bunch of signs that said, "Doctor, I think I have a problem." I think he might have a problem. Once I had explored the whole area, a previously closed door opened, leading into a black and white tunnel. Upon reaching the end, I teleported back into the classic stairwell, this time vandalized with blood, with a drawing of some creature and some colorful but definitely evil blocks. The barricaded doors were open, and they led to a strange claustrophobic house. Walking through the house led to a dead end, but backtracking revealed a door that wasn't there before. There was nothing much inside, and once I walked out, I noticed bloody footsteps on the floor. I walked back to the dead end of the house, which caused a door to appear out of nowhere. This door led to a series of broken rooms with glitched out blocks. I got trapped in these rooms for a while, until a creature jump scared me, chasing me out. I didn't get to see its face, unfortunately, but I'm sure it was scary, don't worry. I reawoke, strapped to a chair in a dirt room, with the walls around me glitching out until settling onto a harsh metal room filled with screens and circuitry. I'm in a mental facility. Yep, that's it. I exited the room through a full-on mad scientist lab with strange machines, posters of the phrase "rot brain," and locked rooms with test subjects. In one of the rooms, they were doing experiments on a villager. I explored the facility until I came across a room with a narrow catwalk. I started walking forwards, and then Gru from Despicable Me gunned me down with his semi-automatic rifle. Subject not cheese tart. Your freedom was not appearing in the contract. The company Rot Brains asked for more adrenaline substances to transform renewable energy. Before the 4th World War we had more energy sources, but now in 2861 the energy is scarce. Anyways, you wanted to go ahead of us, you defraud us, you betray us, but you had to trust in us for your safety, for your family. And that was the real ending. I guess we were being trapped in a simulated nightmare so that our body would produce adrenaline in order to provide energy to a group of survivors of World War IV in the year 2861. I'm not sure what the defrauding and betraying part is about though. Maybe we were part of the survivors, but we betrayed them somehow, so they put us in the nightmare machine as revenge. Regardless of the story, that was a real banger. Banger alert, banger alert. The vanilla Minecraft texture pack and the redstone blood made this map feel like a real Minecraft horror map, more than the previous two. But hold your horses, cool your jets, easy does it, we're not quite done yet. We still have the fake ending to go through. To get to the fake ending, in the final iteration of the stairwell, instead of going through the barricaded doors into the strange house, you have to take the stairs up. So I did that and the door with the warning was open, and I met this pale fellow surrounded by graves. Despite telling him to stay,
Stay, stay, stay, stay.
the moment I entered another room, he scurried away. Going further in, I found this ladder to freedom that was tantalizingly close to my reach. The next room had a bunch of baby cots and signs asking, "Where is my son?" Oh no, it took 3 out of 5 sons. There was also blood everywhere, and the whole place was super run down with cobwebs and iron bars. There was also a chest containing yet another creepy book. Upon opening the chest, a trapdoor opened in another part of the area. I went through it into a white void and got treated to this frightening scene. Oh, where he is. Murderer, killer of children. Oh. Oh, I am the baby. Oh. Oh. That's not him, though. Honestly, I've no idea what the fake ending is about, but once you complete the whole thing, there's a cool lobby with a gallery of all the different monsters in the game. Priest Entity Error. Who's this? Satan. Dr. Gelabert Kovenik. He's balding. There's also a motivational music box, but I don't know what I would need motivation for since, I already completed the map. Oh yeah, remember earlier in the map I found a secret Easter egg key? It actually unlocks a chest that contains a link to some secret horror map tests by the map's creator, PatotatoMan. I had to check these out.
Baby need the money, never call it quits. Baby need the money, never call it quits. Bitch. Only type of girl, is she really fit? Only type of girl, is she really fit? Ooh.
For the first one, I was dropped outside the map area and had to guess where I had to start from. I don't think it really mattered cause there were no interactions or anything. The builds in this world were just different variations of a house. I mean, it was a pretty cool house. It definitely looked like a house from old Minecraft. Some of the assets from Demon Brain were here, like the presents and the Rubik's Cube. That's all I have to say about this one. The second one was a spooky house in a forest. I tried going inside the house and got jump scared by glass breaking, which was scary because glass is sharp and broken glass can easily cut you. The front lawn was very dead and devoid of life, and it had a trail of blood, which I followed through the forest to the remains of some structure that had recently been burnt down. The third one was another spooky house, but this time I could go inside. It was honestly very cozy. They had a magnificent vehicular automobile. This one definitely looked like an early version of Demon Brain. There was an early version of the altar, a test for one of the jump scares, and the iconic stairwell was here. An unfinished creepy house was also here, as well as a lot of the dilapidated wooden rooms in the basement. There was also a lot of stuff here that didn't go into the final map, like a classroom area, an evil cavern, and an outdoor section where you're surrounded by flames and floating zombie heads. It's clear that a lot of work was put into the final map. The environment and story definitely went through a lot of changes before they became good enough. I don't know how this one relates to Demon Brain at all. It might be something completely separate. It seems somewhat related to the spooky house in the second map, but circus themed. In this one, there's an elaborate spooky house with flaming balloons, a hedge maze, and a circus tent with crying laughing emojis, and a conjoined zombie in the middle. There's also a big stone pumpkin face. I don't know what this is, I don't know what it was for, but honestly, it seems kinda fire. Overall, it was a cool experience looking at all these unfinished maps, but not as cool as This is the quintessential Minecraft horror map of my childhood. This is the last map. As a wee tot, I distinctly remember watching renowned YouTuber The Diamond Minecart play this map, and it left such an impression on me that to this day, upon hearing the words Minecraft horror, I immediately associate it with this map. So going into this map, I had some very high expectations. In this map, our pig was kidnapped by Pacheco, who wants to submit it in experiments. This is not good because Pacheco is a psychopath, butcher, cannibal, and scariest of all, an old man. So, we embark on a quest to save our pig.
Pacheco's hell. You can die of fear or of lava.
I spawned outside Pacheco's house. I explored a bit and made the worst possible decision by ringing his doorbell. Music of good quality. Blank emoji face. What the hell? I passed out and somehow teleported into the house. Straight away, I found Pacheco's diary.
They all discriminate against me for being a cannibal psychopath, and the police want to stop me. I swear that one it Avengers to my house without my permission, I will eat them.
There was a chest next to his diary that was filled with freakish items. Going further into the house, it quickly became apparent that Pacheco was no ordinary senior citizen. The floor and walls were soaked with blood, and the body of Minecraft Steve was boiling in a pot. I went up a flight of stairs into one of the rooms and caught a glimpse of Pacheco peeking from around the corner. Immediately, I backtracked down the stairs, entering a room that was previously locked. This room was dripping with blood and had iron cages containing shaved sheep, unshaved cows and villagers, and the head of another Steve. The next room contained the legless body of another Steve, splayed out across the floor. At the side, there was another room, strangely filled with crafting tables, furnaces, pistons, and note blocks. It had a small basement that contained nothing but a book labeled My Plan.
Till now, I remain hidden here. The police have guns. If I want to kill them, I have to hide up to attacking them behind.
I climbed out the basement and then... Oh! You are mine, not just not what happens, I already will catch you. Luckily, all the blood must have seeped into the wood and damaged it, because I crashed through the floor, narrowly escaping Pacheco's wrinkly grip. At the same time, an unfortunate player named Kevin79 joined the game.
Hello, I'm new in Minecraft.
He then immediately got decapitated by Pacheco. Me personally, I now found myself in a demon brain-like hallway. My escape from Pacheco was short-lived, as I soon wandered back into the man himself.
Hello, do I see that you want to eat with me? No. With music, it will be better. Come here, little grasshopper.
Where's the music? Oh! Oh no! I can't sprint. Can I sprint? I can't sprint. I'm cooked. Ah! There is no exit. I died a few times, but ultimately I managed to squeeze through some wooden bars into another room. Pacheco called me a rat coward, and apparently this was the last straw, because the administrator, PatotatoMan, appeared and kicked Pacheco from the game. The room I was now in had a long ladder going into a secondary basement. It looked like I was trapped, but a gate suddenly opened. This area had prison cells with dead bodies inside, and I kept getting notifications about players being eaten by someone named Billy. I walked around more, found a decapitated head and a snowman hanging from the ceiling, before finding a chest that contained a book. Suddenly, Pacheco rejoined the game. I read the book, which wrote,
You have fallen down in my trap. Right angle bracket semicolon right parenthesis.
I ran out the room and got splashed by a sleeping potion. Is that a thing in Minecraft? A sleeping potion? That would be cool, honestly, like a stun potion. Anyways, I reawoke in a white prison hallway, littered with blood and dead bodies. Pacheco's disembodied voice challenged me to survive here with his small butcher Billy. Hungry Billy, eat, eat, eat. And let me tell you, this Butcher Billy was not small. Oh! No. You're blocking the way. This was a tough one, tougher than Pacheco. Billy was quick and nimble, moving as light as a feather, but also as strong as an ox. Billy, Billy, Billy. Eilish. Oh. Eventually, I discovered that one of the cells opened into a tunnel, which I used to escape. PatotatoMan then rejoined the game and banned Billy.
No! Why? Why? He was on the point of killing it.
Despite this massive W, the sleeping potion somehow took effect again, and I passed out.
Okay, you win. Follow the blood, and I give you your pig.
I reawoke in Pacheco's attic. An iron gate separated me from my beautiful pig buddy. Despite Pacheco's apparent generosity, the gate wasn't opening and I couldn't get to my buddy. I watched helplessly as a giant cartoon anvil fell on my beloved pig friend, converting him into a pork chop, which was now placed in my right hand. Pacheco himself then appeared to permanently end my existence. Just like Demon Brain, after the map there was a gallery featuring the models for the evil guys in the game. Apparently, the snow golem hanging from the ceiling earlier in the map was Pacheco's best friend. That's pretty messed up in my opinion. You know, this was a very fun map. It doesn't take itself seriously and it gets increasingly over the top as it goes on. The main villain is literally kicked out of his own map halfway through the game. I also love the chase sequences, they're very fun. I wish they could have been longer or done in larger areas or like a narrow corridor or something. The amount of blood and violence in this is actually crazy. I think this might be the goriest thing I've ever seen in Minecraft. This map was made by PatotatoMan, the same person who did Demon Brain, which explains why they're so similar. Like Demon Brain, I like that mostly vanilla Minecraft textures were used. It feels like a true Minecraft horror map. It gives off a strange nostalgic feel that hyper-realistic textures wouldn't have. I also love the creepypasta faces of the bad guys in both maps. Or I guess now they would be called analog horror faces. Whatever. And this map packs so much quality stuff in literally only 16 minutes. 16 minutes! I can definitely see why this map has stuck with me for so long. This map also showed how interconnected the map making community was. Remember Killer Creeper 55, the guy who made Back to School? Pacheco is actually a parody of his popular Minecraft series Pacheco Cara Floja, about a crazy old guy who makes crazy structures in Minecraft. There's a ton of references to Killer Creeper 55 stuff, like the Hanging Snow Golem, who appears regularly with Pacheco, and Choppy, who hosted his own PvP series. The game also references other people in the Spanish Minecraft community, like Nick Nickum, Mr. Evol, and Elrich MC. So yup, we've gone through a pretty good overview of what Minecraft horror maps were like back in the old days. I have a lot of nostalgia for this period of Minecraft. I literally grew up watching YouTubers playing all sorts of maps from this era, like crazy dropper maps, find the button maps, and giant exploding Peter Griffin maps. My favorites were always the horror maps though, and it's good to know that they still hold up today, and I wasn't just watching garbage as a child. It's amazing how Minecraft became a space for people to create and share their passion with the world, connecting so many people through shared childhood experiences. Although today the Minecraft scene has changed significantly, with custom maps dwindling in popularity, having been almost entirely replaced by mods, custom maps still hold a special place in my heart, reminding me of simpler times where I spent my days drawing comic books and watching Minecraft videos. And thanks to the internet, as long as these maps are still up, I can relive my childhood anytime. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, stay blessed and have a great day. play some Minecraft, or you should touch some grass and appreciate what you have. Wow, wow.
The center of attention.